Highlight of the day on Halloween. Most people out there, I keep saying this, have an excuse to be ugly. Get away with it on this day, one day a year. Feel good about that. There wasn't such thing as ugly people. There'd be no such thing as good looking people. So everybody has a role to play. In today's trade, we were bearish at this point about 10 minutes into 9 o'clock Central. We had a weak manufacturing number that helped keep pressure on this market early. And manufacturing has been important ever since the last two releases of ISM, which ironically come out tomorrow. So Chicago number came out at 840, 845 Central, created some of this down movement in here, and this is the retracement of it up in here. Okay, so if I were to draw it, this is the move lower, and this is the pullback. But we don't know it's a pullback. Maybe it chops and goes higher at that point, right? But if you're looking to play something, what could get you short? All right, what, where, how is there resistance that could get you to take advantage of a move lower and at least get a head start? So again, the manufacturing number came in softer than expected, softer than the low of the range in that Chicago number. It's ahead of a number the market's worried about tomorrow, 9 Central, the national look at ISM, which missed into the 40s the last 2 months. Into the 40s with that number is contraction. Above 50 is expansion. So it matters. Plus, it's missed lower than expected by a lot, ISM, the last 2 months. So this Chicago number not only misses to the downside, 48 was expected, came in around 43, but it was below the range of expectations, was like 47. So soft number. Either way, puts you on the short side, on the bearish side. What you see in here is a head fake, and there's two patterns I'm going to talk about in this highlight. This one, we were saying, this chop sideways, they get a not only a push up, but in real time when you go back and look at it, it quickly comes up and quickly goes down. Quickly comes up, quickly goes down. And it travels through the middle of this consolidation here, which is important. Not only that it's moving through the middle, but at the speed at which it's doing it. So it goes up and comes off. And you look at, maybe you could see it, maybe you can't, but there's decent volume in here that it cracks back through. When you get that and you get a move through this green, it alerts you that some shorts probably puked. And what happens when you get shorts to puke? They pull their buy orders below, just like you would if you're short, and you say, screw it, I'm out. You pull your corresponding limit buy order below, don't you? So if a lot of people do that, you get yourself a lot of people pulling buy orders below. And when you pull, if you look at all these X's being buy orders, you could see when they get pulled, they disappear. It makes the path to go down easier. And so we didn't say it down in here, but more or less in this little spike and pullback, that this could be a head fake and the opportunity to slide lower based on those things we talked about. Plus, there was ancillaries that also leaked lower. I think the Russell was important, the NASDAQ important, also looking like a head fake, but under pressure at the same time. Then there was a nice iceberg at 28 even. And as soon as we got through 28 even, gone. No coincidence right in here that there was a lot of selling that took place. I'm listening to Trade the News same time I'm talking. So it goes down and it rests to some of the targets that we have. Don't mind all the reds and greens. You might get confused, but there's a way to separate them out. And so it uses these greens as support and a target. Goes back up to 28. And actually, that's where the iceberg came in. No coincidence that the market gets fast in here, throws out this red edge zone. Iceberg comes in here, 4,100, like 3,500 of that was one order. And so it actually uses it as resistance, goes down. Now, here's a second highlight. I'll show 3 highlights today. Right in here, we talked about if you're going to play a short, which I actually did, but I caught it pretty decent. Didn't look for a lot because I was afraid that we were going to get a lot. We had these 2 bars that are important for a transition. I think I talked about this yesterday. And the thing was long down bar, long up bar. That's what these bars are, by the way. These are all rotationary bars. And that's what point and figure show you. One of the first things you should learn when reading a chart is the rotation of it. So when you get one bar that goes down, immediately by the very next bar retraces the whole thing and then some up here, you could assume people got stuck trying to sell it with a resting offer, and they zip right through them. What happens after you get short and take immediate heat? You're looking to buy it where that pain started, and so is everybody else. That's why it often is a transitional moment. B to B, which is in this case bearish to bullish now. And lo and behold, that becomes the bottom of the range. It rotates off of it, and the whole direction of that session, we entered a new chapter, and the upside was then the right side. Now, it was no coincidence that 28s came into play because that's where that iceberg was. There was a lot more volume that took place at or around them, 27.5, 27.75. We talked about through there. It could release. Took a little time, but it stayed there and above, and eventually did release to our next area, which were these 31, 32s, hung out there and then went up to 33. We'll see you guys. Have a safe Halloween if you got kids. If you don't, might be a little creepy to go out by yourself, but we'll see everybody tomorrow.